this is going to be a little bit different than my normal sort of heavily edited type of videos, more chill, laid back. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to the second channel, of course. But I just wanted to sort of speak about Tower of God a bit over some bad Call of Duty gameplay, which may or may not be mine, and his mouse and keyboard. That's the only reason why. Like, the aim may be shaky at times, but that's not what we're here for. I just wanted to rant a little bit about Tower of God because I'm sick. And I'm not even COVID-19 sick, nigga. I'm like COVID-22 at this point. This is how sick I am of this show. And let me reverse. I'm not gonna try and come into this with such a negative attitude, but I feel that negativity pulling on my heart right now, and I feel like that's where we're going. So I guess in regards to Tower of God, I made the video the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I made that video. I was still complaining a bit, you know, but I was really trying to keep a positive outlook on this show, and I was gonna let it ride out for a couple weeks, and then once the season was closer to finishing, or when I got some extra free time, I was just gonna binge it a little bit, and then possibly make a second video and possibly a third video, since I think it was like 24 episodes that they said were coming out for season 2. I don't think that's happening anymore, because with my longer style type of videos, it's not that I don't like making them for shows that I don't necessarily deem good. Like, if there's a bad show, I'll happily, like I did one for Rito of Healer and like a Nukai-san's dog and shit, you know, like those are enjoyable to make. I didn't see myself enjoying making a Tower of God video, like trying to like joke about it and stuff like that, just because it was a show that I really feel like had potential to do big things when it came to the anime space. And I guess I'm gonna use this video too to ask a couple questions to people who might be a bit more knowledgeable on this topic, because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't know why the fuck they brought this show back. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, I don't like looking at it. I got to whatever episode I got to in that video that I made, which is on channel, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But whatever episode I got to, that's the last episode I watched. But I was scrolling on Twitter, and I was in the grocery store. I think I was in the grocery store when I saw this, and I saw Bam fighting a fire nigga, and dare I say, this is worse treatment than 7 Deadly Frames. He got slashed by, like, I'm really trying to, like, let me just pull it up on my phone as I'm talking, because it really like grossed me out. Like, I fell to my knees, and I have bad knees, you know, so for me to even take that risk and let my legs give out like that, what I'm looking at must be horrendous for me to sacrifice my knees on the cold hard pavement like that. Yeah, I see Bam get sliced by some red-haired nigga, and then he has fireballs just spawning in out of all these fireballs are spawning in from the fucking dark ether, and I don't even know where they're coming at, and he's spinning in slow motion, and that's quite possibly one of the worst things I could have seen that day. But it wasn't over yet, because they were fighting some 6-armed freak, and I saw this other clip of this mole rat cheering behind him, and he's just moving his arms in the same ass pattern over and over again. No, he actually moved them in the same pattern, and then they reversed him, and then they just put him back. Oh my gosh, I'm about to throw up. They reversed him, and then they just forwarded it again to the same like arm movements that he was doing. And looking at those 2 clips, I already knew that my time with season 2 was up. I didn't even need to go revisit it, and it was taken out of my Crunchyroll queue. So that's how you know me and that show's relationship is over. And I saw people on my video talking about like how the show is good, like just give it time, let it cook, let it brew. And like, I never once doubted that the story was like good. That is why I wanted this shit to succeed, and that is why like I don't even want to be making this rant type of video, but like I feel like this has to be changed, I guess, to some degree when it comes to anime, because again, I know the industry is a lot different in Japan than it is over here when it comes to anime, and I know it's getting a bit more popular, and like mainstream companies are hopping on this shit, but like I don't know the business side of things over there. But judging from where I'm sitting, I really do not understand why 1 penny was put into this show if it came out looking like this. Because if I recall correctly, it was a fairly popular show when it was airing back in, what was it, 2019, 2020, something like that. It was always on the front page of Crunchyroll. I remember, I think a Crunchyroll exclusive studio picked it up, and I know they switched studios. But even with them switching studios, I really don't know why they put people on payroll for the show. I don't, because I mean, I know I'm probably not the only nigga to drop the show because of this. Like, there's just no way. Like, I don't see how they put out that product and anticipate that the show is going to succeed in any way like it did season 1, because everything about it is changed now. Like, as I expressed in that video, and it wasn't even at its worst yet, I expressed that this show lost all of its character and all of its flair. Like, its draw was lit. Like, I remember looking at the thumbnail before I was even suggested the show by one of my friends back when I watched season 1. I remember looking at the thumbnail and it had that draw to it and that appeal, and I was already gravitating towards the show because the shit looked different. The colors looked a bit more vibrant, saturated, that art style and the line work on the characters. Like, there was just a completely different atmosphere to the show, which seemed a little bit like odd, but it was appealing. And the more you watch the show, the more you appreciate it, because like, it was separating that show into its own like category by itself. And there was just something about it that gave it like this, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it was not eerie, but it was like a serious tone. And for me, it made me take the story more seriously, the way it was done in season 1. I really don't know how to explain it, and if someone could put it into better terms for me in the comments, like if they get what I'm saying. But like, looking at season 2, it really just looks like if you go on my anime list and you go to spring, summer, winter, fall, whatever, and you go to like the middle of the page where the not so popular shows are, looks like any one of those shits. Like, nothing unique about it, nothing different. Like, and like, maybe back when I was like 14, 15, I would have enjoyed this, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and act like we haven't been spoiled in recent times with some of these heavy hitting shows like Jujutsu Kaisen and the shit One Piece has been doing with its animation and the cinematography, and some shows like Vinland. Like, I know Mappa has been putting in some ridiculous work into some of these shows, and not just Mappa, but I feel like Mappa's been coming out with a lot of shows that have been artistically like doing different things, I guess. Like, I know we've been spoiled a bit, but I don't think that means we shouldn't try on our product. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people sat down and worked on this show, but just looking at this show, it just doesn't seem like there was effort put in. I'm sorry. Because if you look at even episode 1 of season 2, like, yes, it was a downgrade, but it still looks like there was effort put into it. When Bam was boxing with the little winged guy and whatever, like, there was movement, and like the whole scene where he was like standing there and the electricity was around him, like, that was genuinely a beautiful scene. But like, the shit that we're getting now with fireballs spawning out of thin air, and then the 6-armed nigga looking like that one enemy from Elden Ring, the wooden guy or whatever, like, I just don't understand why animated shows are put out and like not finished to like what they can be. Because even if every episode was done like episode 1 from season 2, I wouldn't be sitting here complaining. But it is clear that there has been like a drop off each and every episode. Like, it seems like it's been getting worse, and I haven't even had to see the last fucking 4 or 5 episodes that have come out to know this. Now granted, as I just said, I watched up to episode 5, so maybe those were just 2 or 3 stinky scenes that I saw on Twitter and I didn't do more research, and the show looks immaculate. But I'm sure if there was an internet break-in type of scene or a ridiculous scene, I would have seen it just as quick as I saw the bad ones. And it's like, I get shows like falling off in terms of like their quality as the season progresses for specific reasons. If we take Blue Lock, for example, Blue Lock, episode 1 of Blue Lock, the way Bachido was moving in that fucking cube that they were in, doing his back, that shit was fluid as fuck. But then we see episode 18 and we get an overhead view and it looks like we're playing FIFA 06, and there's everyone's CGI. And it's like, with that show specifically, one, even with those CGI scenes, in the other scenes, you could still tell that effort is being made with the resources that they had at the time. Because I'm not going into Blue Lock season 2 expecting that shit to look anything like the end of season 1. I'm expecting it, especially since it's like only 13 episodes, to look like the first half of season 1 for the most part, because of how popular the show has become. Because no one expected Blue Lock to have the impact that it did when it came out season 1. That is probably why the quality started to fall off, because they weren't even given enough resources and time to like produce something even better, because no one expected that shit to pop off the way it did. But then it became the #1 seller in the world, I think, manga wise, and then it just got bigger and bigger. You know, so I'm sure they are going to want that shit to look even better than season 1 coming into season 2. But that was just like an example. as to why I understand the dip in quality. For this show, I do not understand at all, because Blue Lock season 1 came out what, last year? We're in October now, so it came out, my fault, it came out October of 2022, I think. So it's been 2 years. Tower of God has had 4 years to make a return. And it's like, maybe if they were like, if it was already in production and then the other company that initially animated it dropped out and then they had to restart or something, and maybe that is why it looks this way. I don't know. I really don't know, like, the scheduling for these episodes. I don't know how it works, because I remember with Jujutsu they were animating that shit like weekly. With Tower of God, I just feel like it's been a waste of like resources and energy. And now granted, maybe they're pulling some shit. First 12 episodes are shaky, the last 12 are immaculate because something crazy goes on in the show and it's a lot of fighting, so then they dumped all of their resources into that, and that's gonna look good. I don't know, because I'm saying last 12 episodes because I thought they said 24 at first. I don't know, but I'm just going off of what I've seen now, and it's like I feel like I've been very patient with it the last couple weeks, but it just seems like it's getting worse, you know. And I just wanted to make a little rant video about it, because I didn't want to take a week to make a video on this when I could be making other videos that I'm like actually enjoying, having fun with, because I just know I wouldn't have fun with a heavily edited like Tower of God video at the moment at where it stands, because it's just disappointing, you know. I guess I'm very passionate about this show specifically just because it's one that I've been really waiting on, and I guess this is the first time when it comes to anime where I've been waiting for a show like very patiently, and I was arguing for it to be like a top 10 for me, you know, like that's like how high I was on Tower of God. I was like, oh, this has like top 10, top 5 potential from what I've seen in like the concept, and like just seeing it flop this bad. I guess the best next thing you could compare it to is like Promised Neverland. Same thing with that show. I just don't know why. Like I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And again, I would appreciate like some sort of history lesson in the comments if anyone knows as to why, like, not even just with this show, with like shows like Promised Neverland or even like Seven Deadly too. Like I feel like Promised Neverland and Seven Deadly were both very, very popular shows. So then why go the direction with the story and the animation in the way that they did? Like, is animation just not that big of a, obviously like anime is a big industry over there, but is animation not as important as I'm making it out to be for a show like over there in Japan, or just in general? Like, am I just like looking too deep into it? Like, I really don't know. For me personally, it just like kind of ruins the experience when it like seems like there isn't any care into it, you know? Like it really does take away from that anime experience, because I feel like 50% of the anime experience is like what you are watching and how the story is told in a unique way via like the visuals, and like seeing like animators experiment with like different animation styles and art styles. Like that's why like One Piece, for example, like what they were doing with Wano the whole time was like such an experience, because you could just tell niggas were having fun with it. And now granted, One Piece is a wacky ass show, but like the impact frames and everything, or even with Jujutsu Kaisen and like the extended Maharaga cut, like it just looked like niggas were having fun with it. I don't know, but I just wanted to, I guess, share my thoughts on that and rant a little bit about it. And I apologize for the bad gameplay. I can't say I'm the best at first person shooters. My hand was actually hurting in this gameplay, so maybe that's why it's so bad. I'd usually drop like a little 60 ball type shit. But yeah, if you enjoyed this rant type of video, not edited, just gameplay in the background, just me giving my opinion on something, let me know, and I'll happily make more videos like this, just because they're obviously easier to put out. But that's, I don't fucking know what I'm saying. I'm yapping a little bit. But sub to this channel, road to 100k. Sub to second channel, road to 1,000. Fuck that, road to 10k. And I just dropped a video over there as well, so I'd appreciate y'all if you want to watch that. But I think that's all I got. Tower of God, I hope that a change is coming, but it's not looking like it, so that's about it. And without further ado, on to the next one.